In this circuit, we have two current sources, I1 with 200 milliamperes going in this direction, and then I2 with 50 milliamperes going in this direction. I1 has a shunt resistance of R1, which is 20 ohms, and I2 has a shunt resistance of 40 ohms, R2. And then we also have a 6 volt voltage source with a series resistance of 30 ohms. So we're going to solve for the voltage across resistor R3. So VAB. Okay. So the first step in solving this problem using nodal analysis is to convert this voltage source into its equivalent current source to make the solution easier. So if we convert this voltage source to its equivalent current source, this voltage source will become a current source with a shunt resistance, something like this. Okay, and then the value of the current is determined by Ohm's law using this voltage and this resistance. So by Ohm's law, I is equal to V over R. So is equal to 6 volts divided by 30 ohms, or it will be equal to 0.2 amperes. So the value of this current source will be 0.2 amperes, and then the shunt resistance will still be the same as 30 ohms. So if we redraw this circuit, so redrawing the circuit with the voltage source replaced with this equivalent current source, this will be the equivalent circuit. The second step is to select a reference node. So this is typically the ground. So in this circuit, this node will be our reference node. So let us denote this reference node with a ground. So all the voltage will be reference to this reference node. And then the third step is to assign an arbitrary direction of the currents through the resistors. So since this current source is going to this direction, so we assume that R1 or the current through I1 is going in this direction. Okay, and then for this one, since this current source is going through this to this direction, so we just assume that the current through R2 is going in this direction. And then finally, the current through this 30 ohm resistance can be assumed to be flowing in this direction. So now that we already have the assumed current directions through each resistors, the next step is to indicate the polarities of each resistor based on the directions of the current. So for resistance R1, the polarity based on the current direction will be positive here and negative here. And then for R2, this will be positive and this will be negative. And for R3, this will be positive and this will be negative. Okay. So after indicating all the polarities for each resistors, we're going to look for the other nodes except for the reference node, or aside from the reference node. So in this circuit, this is a node and this is a node. Okay. So let's assign this node as V1 and let's assign this node as V2. So meaning the voltage, if we're going to find the voltage at this point with reference to ground, and then at this point with reference to ground. So V1 and V2. Okay. Now that we have all the current directions through each resistors and the polarities and also the nodes, we have identified the nodes and the reference node. What we're going to do next is to apply KCL at all nodes except for the reference node. So if we apply KCL at the node V1. So let's say KCL at node V1. So we're going to write the KCL equations. So KCL says all the currents flowing or all the currents going into the node is equal to the sum of the currents going out of the node. So for V1, this current of 200 milliamperes is going to the node. So going in 200 milliamperes plus what else is going to the node? This 50 milliamperes plus 50 milliamperes is equal to the currents going out of the node. So the current through I1, let's call this I1, and then let's call this I2, and let's call this I3. So this will be equal to all the currents going to the node V1, 200 milliamperes plus 50 milliamperes is equal to current I1, because I1 is coming from here to here, and then current I2, because our current I2 flowing through I2 is coming from here, so it's going out of the node, plus I2. Okay, so this will be our equation 1. And then let us also apply KCL at V2. So in here, there's a current going in, which is 0.2 amperes. 0.2 amperes. And then what else is going inside? This I2, because I2 flows from here towards V2. So plus I2 is equal to all the currents leaving the node. So 50 milliamperes is leaving that node. So 50 milliamperes plus this I3 flowing through this resistor is also coming from the node. So it's leaving that node. So I3. So now we have equation 2. So we have these two equations now. So we just need to evaluate these two equations. Simplify these two equations rather. So if we simplify equation 1, this will be 250 milliamperes is equal to I1 plus I2. And then if we simplify this equation 2, this will be 200 milliamperes minus 50 milliamperes if we transpose this to the other side. So this will be 150 milliamperes is equal to, so we transpose I2 to the other side, I3 minus I2. Okay, and also we can express this 250 milliamperes and 150 milliamperes to decimal. So this will become 0.25 is equal to I1 plus I2. And then the other one is 150 milliamperes is equal to 0.15 amperes is equal to I3 minus I2. So by Ohm's law, current is equal to voltage divided by resistance. So therefore, I1 is equal to V1, which is the voltage across the resistance R1. So in this circuit, the equivalent circuit, the voltage across resistance R1 is equal to V1 with respect to the reference node. So that is V1 divided by R1 is 20. And then we have I2 is equal to voltage across resistance R2. The voltage across R2 will be the voltage drop across, or the potential difference between these two points, because R2 is in parallel with the current source. So the voltage across here is the same voltage across B1 and B2. So the potential difference between B1 and B2. So that will be B1 minus B2. So B1 minus B2 divided by R2, which is, or let's put the value of R2, which is 40 ohms. And then I3 is equal to the voltage across R3, which is V2, which is from this diagram, the voltage across R3 is also the same as V2. Is equal to V2 divided by R3 is 30. Okay, so we now have the three currents in terms of voltages, V1, V2, and this is also V2. So substituting these values of I1, I2, and I3 to these two equations, so this will become V1 divided by 20 plus I2 is equal to V1 minus V2 equal divided by 40 is equal to 0.25. Okay, and then for equation 2, I3, which is V2 divided by 30 minus I2, but I2 is V1 minus V2, V1 minus V2 divided by 40 is equal to 0.15. So these are the two equations now. So this will become 0.075 V1 minus 0.025 V2 is equal to 0.25. And then this one here, simplifying this, will become negative 0.025 V1 plus 0.0583 V2 equals 0.15. Okay, so now we're going to solve for these two simultaneous equations. So using inverse matrix method, matrix A will be equal to 0.075, and then here negative 0.025, and then this one negative 0.025, and then this one 0.0583. Okay, matrix B, which is a 2x1 matrix consisting of the two values here, 0.25 and 0.15. Okay, so now these are the two matrices. So the values of the voltage V1, so voltage, let's say 1 and 2, is equal to inverse matrix of A times matrix B, inverse of matrix A times matrix B. So okay, I have the SMAT solver here. So we're going to plug in the values of matrix A and matrix B. So for matrix A, let's say A equals matrix here, it's a 2x2 matrix, let's say 0.075, and then negative 0.025, and then negative 0.025, 0.025, and then 0.0583. Okay, so that is matrix A. And then matrix B equals, so it's a 2x1 matrix, 2 rows 1 column, 0.25, 0.15. Okay, so now let's say B12 equals, let's say B, okay, is equal to inverse of matrix A, so that is A to the -1 times inverse of times the matrix B. So when we press equals, so voltage will be 4.8899 and 4.6698. So voltage 1, so let's say V1 therefore is this value, and V2 is this value. So V1 is equal to 4.8899 volts, and then V2 is equal to 4.6689 volts. Okay, so now we have the values of V1 and V2. Now if we go back to our circuit, so V1 here is 4.8899, and then V2 here is 4.6689 volts. So this is also volts. So going back to the circuit, this V2 here, this node V2 is the same as this node A. So therefore we can say that this node A has a potential of equivalent to V2, the potential at node V2, which is equal to 4.6689 volts. Okay, so now we have the potential at this point now, and we have the potential across this battery, which is 6 volts. We're going to find the potential across A and B. So because this voltage V2 of 4.6689 volts is the potential of this point with reference to the reference node, so therefore we can say that V2 is equal to VAB plus 6. Okay, so VAB now will become V2 minus 6. Okay, but V2 is 4.6689 is equal to 4.6689 now minus 6. Therefore we can say that VAB is equal to negative 1.33 volts. So the voltage across A and B is negative 1.33 volts. Okay, so here's our answer for this problem. So we were able to solve this problem using nodal analysis.